Hey friends, this is Grace, and in this video I wanted to expand a little bit on something I mentioned in a previous video, but I didn't expand on because it wasn't the subject of that video, and that is having to do with tarot. The way I'm going to approach tarot this year is pretty much getting back to basics. For me, that is. So I began 2020 by not doing a year ahead reading for myself, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I did last year. For the first time ever, I did the year ahead reading, and I wrote it in my journal. And every month, at the end of the month, at the start of the month, I would see the card that came out for that month, and walk into that month with curiosity about how the energy of that card, or how that card was going to manifest in my month, in my life. Then at the end of the month, I would go back to the card that I pulled for that month. Here, let me see if I could find it quickly. If you've been watching me for a little bit, you know my journal is not pretty. All right, it's function over beauty. So I had my year ahead all mapped out here. At the end of the month, I would go back and write notes of how the energy of that card asserted itself, or was present in my month, or what happened in that month that really stands out, that is connected to the the meaning of this card. And it was more as a curiosity. I had never done this before in this way. I've done it where I did the year ahead spread, and not go back each month and monitor it this closely. But then, kind of, when I would do a reading for myself, I would say, oh yeah, that's right. So I would take out the card that was for that month. Let's say it was High Priestess, and I was doing a reading for myself for the month of March. I would pull out the High Priestess. I would put her out, and then I would do a reading for myself and layer it on top of that, and not every month. But last year, 2019, every month I went back and I reviewed my month and I wrote notes. Here's the thing. Last year, did I mention it was a hard year? I have, and probably every video. But anyway. And I have to say that thankfully I'm not the kind of person that locks onto, let's say, the card that had come out and then expect things to go that way. I'm the opposite. In June, when I pulled the Five of Wands for June and Page of Swords for July, I have a personal meaning for Page of Swords. You know how there's the book meanings, and then there's the symbolic meanings, and then there's your personal experiential meanings, which I do have a series which I'm going to have to pick up and add some videos to it. My experiential meanings of the cards. Page of Swords is wrought with anxiety. It's shit's coming, there's shit coming down the pike, and it's going to be dreadful. What was I saying? Oh, yes. But I went into July not expecting stuff to happen that was Page of Swordsy, because I'm cautiously optimistic. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So this big, long explanation of what I did last year, I'm not doing this year. I'll tell you why. Because you know what? After the year that I had, and especially December, I said to my I really I said to myself, you know what? I just want to live life because they are predictive. I don't care how many times people on the internet or people assert that these are spiritual tools and all this stuff. The origin of any kind of cards. The origin of cartomancy is to divine the future. Yes, it's not a set in stone future, but I do believe that there's both fate and destiny, and they are not the same thing. Some things are fated to happen, and some things are fated to happen, and it could be pretty wide in terms of the degree of what certain things can happen based on the decision. Things are fated to happen to us. Things are fated based on the decisions we make. But then there are things that are destined, things that are in stone. And now, and those are the things that these pick up, and they pick up the wrong. They pick up whether it's these or right or I'm holding these because this has been my friend the last few months. But cards are predictive, and that's why we read the cards. And if you're still telling yourself that it's for your spiritual practice, okay, to each his own, you know what I mean? But cartomancy, the whole basis of it is to predict the future. And this is why I am not doing a year ahead spread, because I just want to live my life. And I don't want to have at the back of my mind or at the front of my mind that, oh my gosh, Ten of Swords, because I lived it last year. Ten of Swords was not only my stalker card, Ten of Swords and Death, but November I had Ten of Swords. And there was this, it was just too much for me. I just want to enjoy life. Same thing with daily draws. Let me go back to monthly. Now, monthly is the year ahead, right? Where you would, I don't even read for myself for the month ahead. I only consult cards when I have questions about situations that are occurring. And because I enjoy them. For me, it's fun. Last year, it stopped being fun. It stopped being fun with the journaling and anyway. Takes me to the next thing. Another thing I am not doing anymore this year is journaling. I never journaled tarot card readings. I never journaled daily draws prior to last year. And I don't need it. One, it's work. I just find it work. I don't find it enjoyable. And two, I utilize journaling for magic, for spell work, for manifesting. I have an entire journal on a shelf, which when I read it, I know when I wrote it, none of these things had manifested. But to me now it's a log of everything I've manifested in the last 10 years? Maybe, no, more than 10 years. Because that journal has about 15 years of work in it. That's what I utilize a journal for. Also, another thing, I guess this will tie into another concept that a concept I'm embracing that I did enjoy, and that is the word of the year. And last year, my word was reflection. That's the word for 2019. And there was a whole lot of reflection going on. And that process I enjoyed. So I do have a word of the year this year. And And it's not for this video. I'm going to talk about it in a different video. So part of my word of the year is letting go a lot of this stuff. That doesn't serve me. So now I still always have cards out. I've always had cards out. Whether they're, earlier on they were playing cards, they were always out. Then it was tarot. Now it's whatever tarot that I'm, that I'm working with or that I'm getting to know. I have been still doing, when I remember, a daily draw. Basically, I shuffle the cards, and these sit on my dresser. So after I'm dressed for the day and I'm ready to head out, I do a little shuffle, pick a card from the middle here, and today's card is the Devil. Now, these are the cards I have. Now, the cards I have been getting, failure, disappointment, which is the Five of Cups, which I love that card. Let me find it for you. I love the Five of Cups and and if you don't know, this is the Thoth Tarot. I love the Five of Cups because the Five of Cups in this card, when I see everything balanced like that, it doesn't predict disappointment the way I find Rider-Waite does. This one asks a question. When I look at it, this is my impression of this card is that it asks a question. When I see all these things balanced, delicately balanced like that, it asks me, what would you do if you weren't afraid of being disappointed? What would you do if you weren't afraid of failure? So this deck speaks to me differently. Also, it's really good at picking up what I worry about. And I'm a Leo Virgo rising and becoming more Virgo as I get older. And this is basically my thing. I'm constantly worrying about failure and disappointment. So, yeah. So as far as decks that I've been using, one of the decks I've been using in January, it's been this one. I've been using it for my daily draws. But I don't write anything down. I don't journal about it. I don't even think about it. I'll come back at the end of the day and look at the card and go, huh. But I don't know what it is about this card that I absolutely love. Is it the colors? Yeah. Is it this delicate balancing act? Yeah. Is it the way that visually the gaze is drawn upward? I don't know. Love it. And even this card, when I look at this card, this one too is very compelling. It says failure on the bottom. It's the Seven of Discs. But I don't know. I love it. What can I say? I'm weird. All right. So no journaling. No, I know you're a head spread. No elaborate journaling. No monthly readings and then doing a week ahead spread. No, I want to be surprised. Because I'm already psychic. I already have like a low level or like this low level hum of I can already I don't call it intuition. I call it being psychic because I am connected to spirit. So I already have a tendency to receive a transmission if something's going to happen that's not going to please me. I'm less likely to pick up that something's going to happen that will please me, but that has more to do with my uh, being Italian American than anything else. But but no, truthfully, I do also often will pick up a vibe of like a transmission. I call it. I'll receive a transmission that something good is about to happen, and there's actually it's almost like a song in my head that I hear when that's about to happen. So I don't need to add a whole other layer with these things because I don't need it. I just want to live my life. And I stopped enjoying tarot the way I always I've always enjoyed tarot, but last year, and when especially when things were rough, and then this whole feeling like, oh, I'm not journaling enough, because you start to compare yourself, and it's human nature to compare yourself, and I'm not even that kind of person that compares myself to other people. Yet there I was, thinking, I don't know, maybe I need to journal more. Maybe I need to work out these feelings more. Can Minka work out these feelings? It's not me. Why am I even asking myself these questions? So, I haven't really touched my journal. I think the last entry was in September. Yeah, the last entry was in September in my journal, and that's fine because I've had it for a while, and this will always be my tarot journal. I might decide that, you know what, since I've only used the first little bit of it, maybe the rest of it'll be my magic journal, because my other one's full anyway, so maybe I'll just continue with magic in here because that does bring me joy. All right, so I've been talking for 17 minutes, and I told you why I didn't do a year ahead spread. No year ahead spread, no month ahead, no week ahead, no multiple tarot, oracle, runes, whatever situation. No, that's not me. It never has been me. I enjoy tarot, I enjoy oracle for two different reasons. I'm enjoying getting to know the Thoth tarot very much. I actually did, and I was hoping it was going to come in the mail last week so that I could show you today, but I'm waiting for, I did find, it was used, and no longer in the box, but a vintage greenie, like a large greenie, so I'm pretty excited about that because I do like it a lot, the greenie where the borders are green and there's a green cast over all the artwork, because green's my favorite color, one of them at least. So yeah. All right. I'm not even sure if anything I've said so far has made sense, but I just wanted to share that I was doing stuff that wasn't me, and I was just feeling like I needed to strip away and get back to basics and just stick with what I enjoy. All right, so let me talk about a couple of decks that I got in January. Both of them, I got them at the end of January. So most of January I worked with this. Except for when I did have a few client readings that I did, and I did, of course, I do those with my tried and true Rider-Waite Smith, the Centennial one, right? Also, I mentioned in a previous, on my video where I had decks for sale, they're all spoken for. The ones that sold. Two more have to still go to the post office at the time that I'm recording this video. And then they're all, two have arrived at destination, two still need to be sent out. And if you're waiting to hear from me with tracking, It's because I haven't gone to the post office yet as I record this video, and that is because I need to go to a full service post office in order to get full service. Yeah. Anyway, back to the show. So, so thank you everyone who participated. I'm glad that I have been able to rehome all the decks that don't speak to me. And it makes me very happy. And I'm still, with what I have left, I'm still paying attention to what it is that I may want to continue to use. Okay, oh my god, I'm confusing myself. I'm paying attention to the ones that to me are solidly staples. I'm also paying attention to the ones that, even though they're not staples, I love them and I don't want to move them on. But there's still a handful that probably are going to go. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I'm getting from comments under my videos and conversations I'm having with people that a lot of people are feeling the same way. So the next are two tarot decks that came into my life in January. Both of them were gifts. The first one is this one. So I never would have purchased this one for myself. Not the beautiful independent one that Chris Hans independently produced, Light Seers, that I've seen on YouTube, and not the Hay House. I would not have purchased this deck at all, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the art style is not how can I put it? It's beautiful. It's not me. You know, it's like I can really, I can appreciate that something is beautiful and at the same time understand that it's not for me. So I got this one as a gift. And I went and I edged it. And I edged it this dusky blue color, not on purpose. I actually, because when I saw how cardboardy, I thought, and I'll say I thought, because this cardstock is very deceptive. I thought that this was really cardboardy. So I figured, and the edges seemed a little rough. So I went and got my metallic Crayola markers out. And my bad. I meant to grab the green metallic to do this deck. But I also work in very bad lighting in the evening. I'm in front of my laptop, I'm doing either work or whatever, and this is just something to keep my hands busy. So I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed what turned out to be cobalt, metallic cobalt marker when I meant to grab the green one. So I did the whole deck. It was beautiful. It was metallic. It bled like crazy on my hands. My hands were always covered. It never dried. It never dried. It never dried. Never. So I figured, well, what am I going to do with this deck? I can't touch it. My hands turn blue. Blue, blue, blue. The whole hand was blue. Both hands. Just holding it. So I looked at it and I figured I got nothing to lose. I grabbed a baby wipe. Baby wipes. And I wiped the marker off the edge of each card twice. And the backs also had a little frame of the marker. So I literally washed the deck with a baby wipe. Multiple baby wipes. I think it took 4 to do the whole deck. Blue on both sides. And then I let it dry overnight. Went to shuffle. It was still staining my hands. So I got one of those crocheted cotton coasters that I have in my house, because both my daughter and I crochet, and I rubbed the edges really hard on it until there may be a little bit left, but not like it was. So that's how I got this dusky blue. Also, doing all this, well, the metallic is pretty much gone. So all that's left is the dusky blue base. There's one or two cards that may have a bit of metallic on it, but it's gone. It's gone. But the edges are smooth like satin now, which they weren't when I got it. But it, now, I know there was a whole brouhaha about, like, you know, how the bad ones that were poorly cut and all that. This one's good. It's not any different from any other deck that I've purchased. So now I told you the big story about the edging. Let me tell you about this deck. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But I kept going back to it because I spent a lot of time, and it wasn't that I didn't go back to it because I was trying to like it. I kept going back to it because I had it in my hand because I was trying to fix this, you know, this really bad edging job that I did before I passed it on. I didn't want to pass on a deck that was, you know, that I had ruined, right? So spent a lot of time with this deck. The artwork is still not my thing. I'm the not anti as in Zia. I am the anti-boho. I don't have a boho bone in my body. I say, as you see my bracelet. But what I'm trying to say is that aesthetic is just not me ever. Has never been me. It doesn't. It doesn't suit me. It's not my the boho mentality is not in line with my mentality. But this is a beautiful deck. The artwork is beautiful. The colors are incredible. Some of these images, this just is stunning. This is a stunning Ace of Swords. We all know about how I feel about these guys, these little black birds. Oh, if you've been watching me for 5 minutes, you know. If you don't, I love corvids, specifically ravens. It's a beautiful deck. It reads fantastic for the mundane day-to-day. I ask it questions because, well, like I said, I was trying to fix it, which I did. I should stop saying trying. I did for the most part, but I could still see a slight, but no, not as it was. So I spent a lot of time with it, and I would ask it, you know, not ridiculous questions, but very mundane questions. And it gave me it gave me succinct answers to these mundane questions and some pretty sound advice. So Light Seers won me over. So I'll be keeping it. And yeah, so I've been working with this one the last week or so. Just as, you know, for fun. Next deck I got as a gift from my friend Kim. Thank you, Kim. It arrived. And it's the Mystical Dream Tarot. I saw it on YouTube. I saw some videos. And I have to say that if I were to go by the flip-throughs that I saw, just the images, this is not a deck I would have chosen for myself. You know, like it was one that when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that's awesome. Like that looks pretty cool. And then as I watched more and more flip throughs, um, and this was before my friend Kim contacted me and said she was going to send me one as a gift. Um, I thought, no, I don't think it's for me. Because, I don't know. I didn't think it was for me. It's, I'm doing just a flip through to show you something while I talk, right? But it's not it's all, these are all shuffled. So, the imagery in this tarot deck, for me, I guess it has to do with the fact that the imagery is so different that I don't view this as a tarot deck. I don't view it as a tarot deck because I did a one card pull. I haven't done one yet since then. I did a one card pull when I got it. And that one card was this one. It's the Ace of Pentacles. And I'm looking at this card and I'm trying to understand the imagery on this card. And I stared at it for a long time and I said, I don't get it. That's what intrigued me. So I opened up the book and read the part in the book that describes the Ace of Pentacles. This was a one card spot on reading. This was a full reading in one card. So I'm thinking that the rest of the deck is like this. I am still working with this card. I got this deck sometime last week, which I probably should have been I should have sent you an email, Kim, to let you know it was here. And thank you so much. I love it. I'm still working with this one card. Decks like that fascinate me. Those are the decks that hold my attention. This is a new favorite. I'm still working with one card. The first card I pulled. This is I'm not going to say it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented for a tarot deck, but it's not unprecedented for, hang on, my doorbell's going to ring. As I was saying, I had to answer the door. Package was delivered. Maybe the subject of my next video. I'm still working with the first card I pulled from this deck. This is incredible. Like I was saying, it's unprecedented for a tarot deck for me. But it's not unprecedented for any kind of divination system, because the same thing happened with my Sacred Vision Oracle. So there's a lot in here. In the parlance of today, there's a lot to unpack. It's fabulous. I don't know, because I only pull this one card and I'm still working with it, absorbing its message, heeding its advice. I don't know how this will play as a tarot deck with like a full 12 card spread like I normally do. But I do know that it's something special. And I probably should have mentioned, this is the Mystical Dream Tarot by Janet Piedilato. And if you're looking for something different than your rote kind of tarot decks, or like, your tarot decks based on whatever system that you enjoy, if you're looking for something outside of that, something that straddles both tarot and its own oracular system, or like I'm just saying I love it. So that's it for this video, and I may record another one after this one. We'll see. All right. Thanks for joining me, and I wish you all a beautiful day.